when you hear guys like Paul Finebaum calling your program irrelevant.
How can we be irrelevant and you talking about me?
Yeah.
Like,
I hate to say it, when people like Nick Saban quit, Deion Sanders has proved about every single person wrong that's ever doubted him. And it's getting to the point where it's getting a little nasty. So we got some receipts. We're going to get over them. So one of the biggest contributors to the hate of Deion Sanders is the one and only Paul Finebaum, someone who hates the SEC. Well, not hates SEC, maybe hates the SEC coaches and the way they operate. Hates Deion Sanders seemingly even more. He's had to eat cake and eat pie. But let's go back to when, it seems that Colorado was irrelevant. And we're going to talk about that, Mr. Paul Finebaum. We're also going to talk about how Jason Whitlock is going to view the things and how he's been seeing. I don't think he's been having a fun time and dealing with Colorado being successful and the antithesis of everything that he said. So we're going to look at some of his comments too, and then finally end it off with some Deion Sanders quotes to see how he feels about the fine bombs and things of the world, because man, he don't care about it, man. I got this little placeholder picture if you're watching this video, but we're going to listen to him, what he said in ESPN a while ago. And it's a little different, but they were talking about Boulder, Colorado. Here is the words from Paul Finebaum.
Back on that for a second. Anyone asking whether Deion Sanders and Colorado are close to the playoffs simply doesn't understand the reality of the road. They're not going to the playoffs this year, and I'm not sure Deion Sanders is ever going to get them to the playoffs, because I don't think he has the patience to stay at Colorado long enough. There's so many misconceptions out there. Deion Sanders is the best salesman I've ever seen. I personally love the guy and for what he stands for, but the program looking out has a ridiculously inflated view of itself. I heard Shedeur Sanders, who's a fabulous quarterback, say last week, "We are everyone's Super Bowl." Shedeur, you are not. You are an easy win nowadays. You got off to a phenomenal start last year, beating a couple of mediocre teams that had big names. And quite frankly, you haven't done anything since other than crash and burn. So I know that the media loves this story. We fall all over ourselves. But Colorado isn't important in college football. Deion Sanders is. He's a standalone person. He's one of the most charismatic people we've ever seen. But Colorado is nothing. They don't matter. They're irrelevant in the big picture of college football.
Do you think he will eventually take all these players that he's accumulated through the transfer portal and beyond and get to a college football playoff berth?
Shay, to answer your question, I think it depends on how long Deion Sanders stays at Colorado. If he's there for 5 years, I think he will eventually get them to the college football playoff. Now, to address some of that ether that Paul Finebaum just directed at Deion Sanders, Colorado is everybody's Super Bowl. The reason that they are the Super Bowl is because all eyes are on them. I still remember Dan Lanning telling his locker room that Colorado was there for clicks and they're there for wins, right? They knew that they went out there with a vengeance, and they did blow them out. But they played harder in that game than they played in any other game of the season. So if Shedeur in his mind is saying that, hey, Colorado is everyone's Super Bowl because they think they're so great, I can kind of see where Paul is going. But he's saying in the sense of everyone wants to beat them into the ground because they do have the number one quarterback in the nation. And they do have the number one wide receiver and cornerback in the nation in Travis Hunter. And they do have the biggest personality at the head coach position in Deion Sanders.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Hey, I know that RG3 is a milk marauder. He's a milk maiden, and he loves him a bit of milk, but there's nothing wrong with that, right? It doesn't mean he's not still an amazing child of God and football, because he said some phenomenal things there, and I appreciate him really trying to be, I think, as realistic as possible, because when we talk about like the whole idea of who and what is quote unquote, relevant and what's not, especially in the guise of college football, just the fact that Deion Sanders is coaching is enough to sit back and say, okay, well, this is someone who is clearly at the guys in the top levels of college football, and hey, he hasn't made the playoffs yet, but at this point, I mean, who are we and who are we to go against Colorado not making it all the way to the playoffs? Because Jason Whitlock seems to have finally accepted his fate, that hey, maybe, just maybe, the legendary Hall of Fame NFL player FSU legend. Maybe he knows how to coach a little football. And to be honest with you, I think Jason Whitlock be playing with the copyright, so I'm not even going to play that game. I'm going to put this over here, and I'm going to put a Jason Whitlock, picture up, because I don't trust them. Sorry about it. And let's see where Jason Whitlock says. So we could potentially be looking at a 10-2 Colorado team, Jason Whitlock says. And then, how does that make you feel, Jason? Talk to us.
Could we be looking at a 10-2 Colorado team? And look, they would get blasted by BYU, in my opinion, in the Big 12 title game. BYU is pretty good. BYU's got some defensive linemen that are pretty good that would cause Colorado a lot of problems. But Joel's right. They have an outside shot at a Big 12 championship. What do I say to that? How you win matters.
How you win matters.
Much of my criticism of Deion Sanders has been about his approach to building that football program. And I didn't think it would work, his approach. His approach is not good, but it is working. His approach is not healthy, but it is working. I think that speaks to the corrupt system that has been built in college athletics. And it disappoints me that we've built a corrupt system. It's no different than, let's look at the music industry. And again, I've told you all, I used to like rap music. But rap music in the music industry is so corrupt, so perverted, so evil that rappers that rap about killing and stealing and drug dealing and all that can reach the top of the music profession. They can perform at halftime. That speaks to how corrupt the music industry is. It doesn't say, hey, Snoop Dogg is right. What it says is the system is so corrupt that corrupt people now reach the top. And so, yes, are the Colorado Buffaloes improved? Absolutely. Only a fool would say that they're not. Their defensive side of the football, particularly their front seven, and their whole unit, because between Travis Hunter and I can't think of number 7's name right off the top of my head, but the safety's a really good player.
Oh, you're talking about
the other two corners that play opposite Travis Hunter, their defense is improved. Hats off to them. Offense is dangerous because of their speed on the outside. Their receivers are talented, and Shedeur Sanders can get them the ball. And the offensive line has improved. Colorado has improved. The system has been changed in a way that someone like Deion could come in, work the transfer portal, work name, image, and likeness, and buy up enough talent to be competitive. Hats off to him. He's working a system that I don't respect.
So when people get, when people succeed, when people like Nick Saban, and let's be honest, I hate to say it, when people like Nick Saban quit because he didn't want to deal with it, he didn't want to deal with the new way things were being handled, right? I mean that's just the fact. He didn't want to have to deal with it. All these people who are retiring because the football game has changed and this and that and XYZ. It's like I don't have any remorse for y'all. Like I really don't, because it's like what are we doing? Look at this cock. I mean, come on, dog. Come on. Let's go Utah. This is awesome. Yeah, I don't have any remorse for these types of dudes, dog. Like not remorse, but like there's no perspective of you being able to what's it called? No perspective of you being able to say that this team is just bad because of goalpost moving. And I wasn't gonna do this, but since we're here, can we go to Coach Jason Brown? We're gonna take a little detour here. We're gonna watch a little Coach Jason Brown. What's the last thing that he said about Colorado? Because this is one of my favorites, dog. Oh, he's live. Let's get into. Does he talk about Shedeur at all? Because you know how he feels about all things Deion Sanders. And just in case, because I know I got some TikToks ready. Don't even worry about that, dog. I just feel what is this? I'm sorry. I got this pulled up. That is not safe, right? That is not safe. for human consumption.
Boston College quarterback Thomas Cassiano.
It's not safe for human consumption at all. I thought I had something going here. I thought I had something cooking here. Where's it at? Where's he at? Oh yeah. Here we go.
Bucky.
Here we go. This is what I wanted to react to. The biggest Deion Sanders hater of all time has to be Coach JB. He loves to spin things in a certain way. Let's see how he spun the last ordeal, the whole what's it called, Bucky and ball boy situation. Let's see how he feels about that.
Bucky Sanders on your show, the son of Deion, who was on record and on film the other day. I never used to see this, Matt. And Matt, I just don't know. I'm curious to hear your take, because I got to be honest. If I know the Matt I think I know, you wouldn't have probably fucked with this when you played, and either would I. And we'd have been like, get the fuck out of the way. I want to know if that ball had a Texas Tech stamp on it. Like, we know they get burned in, right? That's a Colorado ball. That's a Texas Tech ball. If it was, that kid he didn't do anything wrong, in my opinion. Well, he called him the N-word.
He's doing his job. That's fucking ridiculous. But
calling him the N-word is doing your job? Yeah, you motherfuckers defend these motherfuckers.
Yeah, bro. Like, what are you trying to say? Using the N-word as part of his job? Like, everyone's cursing at each other and talking like men on the field. What?
The way he's talking to that kid is an aggressive manner to start some shit.
You're
Come
fucking
on,
right.
now.
It's aggressive, dog. Why are you
knocking
the ball out of his hands?
He's filming though.
This other kid isn't playing either. He's the fucking ball boy. Just go hold the balls.
He actually is allowed to be down there.
Yeah, Deion Sanders Jr.'s job is to film everything. That's his job. Yeah, I don't have a problem with this at all, bro. Like,
because I mean, Bucky's out there like he's part of the Fox crew.
That's right. That's the only problem I have.
I don't know the fucking rules, guys. I don't make these rules and shit.
Yeah. So as you see, Coach JB, someone who's known to treat his emotions very well. Somebody who, as the comment says right here, I'm not sure if you can see it, but it literally says, like JB has any room to talk about someone controlling their emotions on a football field, the same JB who was about to fight one of his coaches. Yeah, man. I love the hate, man, and we'll see what this week brings. A new bounty of hate and a new way for him to spin it. Talk about how the Big 12 was just a terrible conference anyway. That was going to be awful and that was always going to win. But it's going to be hard to find new things to try to shit on Coach Prime for. So I'm going to be impressed. So do that, Coach JB. Keep finding new ways. Keep doing it. Keep riding cock. Finebaum, Jason Whitlock, keep doing what y'all do phenomenal. Y'all like this video if you like it. Dislike this video if you don't like it. Subscribe down below if you're enjoying college football content coverage, Colorado coverage, and comment down below if you were a hater or believer or an achiever. All right, man. Y'all be blessed.